So can you use a Chromebook to run an effective business? Well, I switched to Chromebook about a year ago, and I'm gonna break down how that went for me in this video. And by the way, my name's Chad Leonberg, and I've helped tons of real estate agents hit 6 figures in the business. If you're interested in how we can help you, feel free to hit me up at the contact info below. All right, so first, let me set the stage here. I was an Apple guy. Apple everything. I had the MacBook Pro, the iPhone Pro, I had the Apple Watch Ultra, iPad Pro, just everything. I had it all. AirPods Pro, name the Pro, I had it. Now, I'm not immune from other technology. Like, I had Apple in 06 before people were really starting to use it. I had Android and iPhone. I had a Windows phone at one point. I've built computers. I'm not technologically illiterate where I was just Apple. I just love the ecosystem, and I love the functionality of it. And for me, with Android and Google, it felt just like it was always buggy. I don't have any other ways to say that. It felt buggy. Whereas Apple was just smooth and seamless. And for me, running a business, I run a real estate team and I coach real estate agents. For me, running my real estate business, I needed something that was gonna work. So I tried to switch from Apple in 2019, but here was the problem. I did it too much at once. I bought an Android phone, and then I also bought a Surface laptop. I had a Samsung watch, and I had a Google phone. Like Google, Samsung, Microsoft, it didn't work. It was too much shock, shocked the system, and I, about 30 days in, just returned everything and went back to Apple. However, this switch has stuck. So in the transition though, what I did was first I switched to an Android phone, got comfortable with that this time around. And then once I was comfortable on an Android phone, I actually decided to sell my MacBook and buy a Windows laptop. Hated that, and then bought a Chromebook. So I have had that Chromebook now for about 10 or 11 months. And the part in buying it was pretty hilarious. Windows has always yes, you can reset them and you can redo them, but the bloatware and all the stuff on them slows them down. I will say Mac, never had that issue, but with Windows, it was slowing it down. And one day I just said, you know what, enough with this. Went and bought a $350 on special Chromebook plus the Asus CM34 Flip, the blue one, and it has been a killer for me. And to be clear, I am not a light user. Maybe I'm a medium user. I wouldn't say I'm a heavy user, but there's, been 4K video editing, HD video editing, recording, masterminds, plenty of work. A lot of this is all web-based, but it's amazing what it can do now versus even 3, 4, or 5 years ago. For example, to edit video was basically impossible in a browser video editor. Now with things like CapCut and, LumaFusion and just a lot of those, it surprisingly works. Like, it's actually surprisingly good. So that's going to lead me into my first point about Chromebooks. If everything you do is web-based, if there's a browser-based tool, or maybe you're not using it currently, but there's a good one out there, maybe you want to test it. If you can run everything out of a web-based application, there's really no need for the extra clunk that Windows will give you. And then on the Apple side, you're just paying for stuff that you don't really need if you are generally web-based. And that's me. I was also already Google pretty much everything. Google Docs, Google Slides, Google. So it's funny how even on my iPhone, there was still a lot of Google stuff I used and I didn't even realize it. So out of the box, I was ready to rock with a Chromebook and all my stuff was already there. It didn't feel like I had switched, which coming from somebody who would switch, a new iPhone every year, a new Apple product, it was nice how seamless the transition was. For me, switching to a Chromebook was no different because I was in Google Chrome on my Mac most of the time anyway. But one of the biggest pluses is it's cheap. I still can't get over this, that I have a $350 Chromebook that just from a day-to-day usage outperforms, the speed is just as good or better than the Mac, and I had an M1 chip in my MacBook Pro, so it was decent. This $350 Chromebook is crushing it. Again, video editing, photography, taking notes. It's a flip, so it's got a touch screen. I have a $1,000 plus MacBook that I couldn't touch the screen. And now every time I grab a laptop, I want to touch the screen. I was able to buy a pen that didn't cost me over $100 to work on my Chromebook. Everything was cheaper and they run tons of deals, on accessories and things like that. So, it wasn't necessarily about saving. I was not opposed to putting a big amount of money into my tech. I like technology. I had the Apple Watch Ultra, all that stuff, but everything is just cheaper, whether the watch, you name it. So that is definitely a huge pro. So another reason that Chromebook has worked really well for me is I did switch to Android. If you have Android, now I know iPhone is coming out with iPhone mirroring with the iPhone and the Mac. And if you don't know, you'll be able to mirror your iPhone on your MacBook, which is super useful. Wish they had it when I had it. But with Android, if you have an Android phone and a Chromebook, you can mirror your phone and your apps on the Chromebook. This is super useful because I can basically see my phone and it doesn't actually use it on the phone. So I could be doing something on my phone, go on my Chromebook and mirror the Messages app, and I have Facebook loaded on my phone and it runs them separately, but it's from the phone. So it's really, really cool. It works really well and it can sync your notifications. So for me, that was super useful out the box. I didn't have to wait, I guess, another year and a half for Apple to deploy that. And that's something you'll start to see whenever you leave the Apple campus. How, I knew that, I'm aware of that, but how much you actually get features earlier than Apple waiting to polish them. However, they are polished with Apple. I will never take that away. But one other aspect is if you have a Chromebook, you're actually able to download Playstore App. You're actually able to download the Android Play Store apps like on the Google Play Store. So you're able to get the mobile version even without a phone. Let's say you don't have Android. You can download the Facebook app on your laptop, on your Chromebook, and have the mobile, the mobile app on there. So, for example, you can't schedule a post, at least to my knowledge, on a web browser for Facebook, but you can on the mobile app. So you can download the app on your laptop through the Play Store and schedule a post. So there's a lot of features like that that are super useful. However, I think it's more useful to just mirror your phone and do it that way through Android. At the end of the day though, I think what happened, I think I was pulled to Apple for simplicity. Even though I like technology, I've noticed that you can fight it, and simple when scaled becomes complex, and complex when scaled becomes impossible. And I think where Android or Google or even Windows or any of that stuff was about 5 to 10 years ago when I would ever consider, it was complex. And in today's world, they probably have taken some notes from Apple's just it works functionality. So I see that a lot on the Pixel 8 Pro phone that I have, and I see that a lot in the Chromebook in particular. The reason why I was really pulled to this was I actually gave my dad a Chromebook in 2014, and that thing is still running faster than almost any other product I had, and I was floored because there's just not much on Chromebooks since they're web-based. And most people have this connotation towards Chromebooks, or oh yeah, that's what the school gives children to learn or to use at school. And I can tell you, having used this for 10-11 months running a multi-six-figure business, that it's capable of much more than just being a device for an elementary school student. So simplicity in mind, cost savings. I already had Google. Everything I use is web-based. This has been a tremendous experience, and I'm very thankful because my wife told me I'd be back to Apple, and I'm it's kind of nice to not be wrong. That's rare. She's always right typically, but so far I have not switched back. So far I can claim that I was right to make the switch in that category. I guess the biggest purpose of this video is to let you know that you can use a Chromebook in more use cases than you think. I never thought I'd be able to power my business in the day-to-day things that I do, especially creating content and doing stuff like that, but I've actually found that it's almost been easier for me, and it's definitely much simpler. I have not found this to be true with Windows. That switch still gave me complex craziness, but with Chromebook, I have found simplicity on the laptop or whatever you're looking for to use day to day. I have found that space. If you're ever curious about how Chromebook could work for you if you're a real estate agent, feel free to jump on a call with me. Check out my contact info below. I'd be happy to kind of unpack that for you. But thanks for tuning in. This is a little tech tip for you. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm a real estate agent that runs a real estate team and coaches agents, so I would love for you to subscribe to our content. We also have a podcast that's streamed here on this channel, so make sure to tune in to Shark Nation. But thanks for checking out the video, and I will see you at the top.